play-in game ended in New Orleans. Oklahoma City up by 3, 121-118. Inbound for the Pelicans. Herbert Jones looking for C.J. McCollum with a chance to tie or take. No. He threw it away. Oklahoma City prevails. Final score 123-118. Brandon Ingram had hit a huge three to make it a 1-point game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit a pair of free throws to make it a 3-point game and then salted away on free throws. 123-118 for Oklahoma City. The visitors prevail thanks in part to Josh Giddey. 1 rebound shy of a triple-double. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a huge second half for the Thunder. 25 of his 32 in the second half as the Thunder get a huge game from SGA, Josh Giddey, and Lou Dort. His best game of the season, 27 points in this one for Lou Dort. And the Thunder win a close one in the Big Easy as they move on to face the Timberwolves on Friday for the 8th seed. The winner of that game gets a date with the Nuggets in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. And for more, let's get some instant analysis. Welcome in CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Reiter. Bill, wow, what a finish there. What was your reaction to how that game finished?
Yeah, well, that was a really fun game. And as we talked about at halftime, what an exciting young team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an absolute superstar. Josh Giddey is going to be a superstar. I don't think we're under any illusion that the Thunder, if they win that game against the Timberwolves, are going to just suddenly rocket their way to a conference finals or a finals this season, Akeem. But I think that's some insight into the reason folks around the NBA believe the Thunder in a year or 2 or 3 are going to be really, really good.
Really, the difference here, Bill, was in the third quarter. They were down by 6 at halftime. Oklahoma City comes out in the third quarter, outscores New Orleans 39-24, and then able to just close it down the stretch, even though Brandon Ingram hit some really big shots in the end.
Yeah, Ingram had such a clutch three at the end. We talked about this again at halftime. The fact the Thunder, I think, were able to hang in there and be within striking distance after that first half, despite the fact that SGA really played poorly in the first half, that boded really well for their ability to come back and win this game. And as expected, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the best scorers in the NBA and certainly one of the best young scorers and players on the planet, was awesome, particularly in that third quarter. Giddey was able to impact the game, and you could just get the sense that this was a Thunder team, as their star and SGA started to play well in that third quarter, that were loose. It wasn't the same kind of pressure. They moved the ball well, and they just, to me, looked like the team. And this really, I think, was epitomized by that play where they threw it away, the Pelicans, at the end of that game, where the Thunder just played like a team where there wasn't the same level of pressure. And
you have to think maybe this outcome would be different if Zion Williamson had played. Dealing with the hamstring injury, what's the outlook here for New Orleans in the offseason? I mean, you want to get him right. You need to get him right. You need to pair him with Brandon Ingram, really, for this team to compete in the Western Conference. Just your thoughts going into the offseason here for New Orleans.
Yeah, Keem, you climbed into my brain because as we watch the guys celebrate the winners and the Pelicans congratulate the Thunder and walk off, that's exactly what I thought about Zion. I understand that David Griffin today told some reporters that they haven't cleared Zion Williamson. They haven't given the chance to be back on the floor. But it's a look. Let's be frank. It's a terrible look, Akeem. You've got video of Zion before the game attacking the rim in warmups and dunking ferociously. You've got Zion saying he's physically fine. He just doesn't feel like Zion. So I think for the Pelicans, there's just a question of when are you going to be able to reliably believe that Zion Williamson can play 50 or 60 or 70 games? Because when he was doing that, this was one of the best teams in the Western Conference this regular season. And when he hasn't, they're not. You're right. That's the missing piece. That's the missing equation. And the fact that he said he's physically okay, and he looked pretty good in warm-ups, I mean, it's a big question mark as it relates to how reliable this guy can be from a health perspective going forward.
Yeah, hadn't played, has not played, and will not play as they get knocked out of the play-in tournament since January 2nd with a hamstring injury. Played in just 29 games this season, so certainly a disappointment for Zion and for the Pelicans heading into the offseason as they try to get him right heading into next season. The season continues for Oklahoma City as they meet up with the Timberwolves on Friday. Oklahoma City 1-3 against the T-Wolves in the regular season. We know the drama surrounding Minnesota with Rudy Gobert. How does that impact them in this game? Does Oklahoma City have a chance here to beat Minnesota? What do you think about this matchup Friday?
I mean, look, when you get lucky, you just roll with it. I thought the Thunder would win this game against the Pelicans, and I thought they'd end up playing the Timberwolves and they'd win that game too. It is significant that Rudy Gobert is going to return under the cloud of heaven, punched his teammate in the arm. Now, we'll see how it works. Sometimes it brings guys together. Sometimes it drives them apart. It really, Akeem, depends on whether they like Rudy Gobert. I mean, like, what is real behind the scenes? I think the Thunder are a dynamic basketball team, and I know they'll be the underdog. They are the underdog in this game against New Orleans. I like Oklahoma City. It's one game, right? There's the caveat. Who knows? I like the Thunder to win the game. I like SGA to be the best player on the floor. I know Gobert is going to be back, and that'll be significant, but we saw the depth of talent on this young Thunder team. But, man, there are some guys that can ball out there, and I like their chances to pull another upset.
Yeah, Oklahoma City, the young team looking good, and really no drama surrounding that team. So why not take the Thunder to move on against the Timberwolves and have a date with the 1-seed Nuggets in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs? We'll see when that game plays out Friday night in Minnesota. Bill Reiter with the latest here on CBS Sports HQ. Bill, thanks. And here we are. We are all set in the West. The bracket is set. Oklahoma City going to play Minnesota on Friday for the 8th seed. The winner of Friday's game will play the 1-seed Nuggets in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.